and welcome to Add More Zest. It's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147, and I thought for today's WIP and Chat I will do a little bit of my Minions painting. So I did start this a while ago. It is a Diamond Art Club and it is a long one, so I do have it rolled on a piece of pipe lagging at the bottom and I have it rolled the other way. I thought this would be a nice way for me to get through sort of some of the questions that I have outstanding, and also it has been so long since I've done a round that I kind of want to do a little bit of a round. The June WIP and Chat was a square. All the customs that I've been doing a square. The last painting that I kitted up, you know, that was just a general painting to do, which was the mystery from that Margaret got me, that was a square. Mr. Quackers, which is my other big one that's sort of on the go. I've sort of gone out of normal pattern and have two big ones on the go. That one is also a square. So I'm kind of itching to do a little bit of a round. This large one is when I haven't got any other projects on the go, like my custom, then I used to mix in doing this large one with a smaller one. But I haven't done some for what feels like ages. So I thought this will be a nice change, and then I'll go back to one of my Heaven and Earth designs next week. But this one is a Diamond Art Club. It is a Mandy Manzano. I'm pretty sure it is. And I like to, because there's a lot of black in the likes of Mandy Manzano, there's a lot of outlines and stuff in black. I like to do the black section first, no matter where it is on the, you know, on the section that I'm doing. I like to do all the outlines, and then it gives me little sections to do. And I mean sometimes there's more black outlines than this. It really does depend on the section that I've got. But yeah, it allows me to, oh, I've just thrown one on there. Let's get that off. Yeah, it allows me to sort of divide it up a little bit, even though it's not really. So what I'll probably do is start with all the colours and fill in this section, while also filling in any of the colours on this section, and work the way down. There's not too many colours on this one actually. It's probably not the most exciting section that I have, but all sections need doing. So I've started off with the 310, and I will zoom you in, and we can go through some questions. I'm currently using one of my white trays. I keep flipping around what tray I'm using. I like the variety of colour. So let's get quite a bit of this number 7, because I can see it's in quite a few different places. Get my little diamonds all lined up like soldiers. And let's zoom you in actually, and then we'll go for what questions that we have, because I know people do prefer to be zoomed in when it comes to, you know, just working on a normal one, not a Heaven and Earth design. Heaven and Earth design, of course, doesn't have the symbols on the chart. But Abby says, she says, what time is it going to be when completed and cut down? I'm guessing you mean size, Abby, and this was in relation to my Heaven and Earth design mini. And you know, I actually can't remember. How bad is that? I can't remember how big it was supposed to be. I'm trying to think what size it was I bought it as. Let me just mute this and let me just go to my Heaven and Earth designs And of course it's not in there. Did I put the details? I've got a mini project playlist which has got the videos in it, but I don't think I say what size it is. Not in the description anyway. I may say it in the video, but there's nothing worse than playing two videos. That's probably not good. Okay, let me see if I can find a different way. You can tell I've not got organised, can you? Heaven and Earth. Heaven and Earth Designs. Okay. Let's have a look. Which one was it that I got? Let me log in. Okay, my account. Here it is, view. So it's called, the mini one is called Mini Beautiful Light. Let's find the size. Mini Beautiful Light. So I'm just searching for the original chart because of course my download. Okay, so they've actually got a diamond painting canvas for it. So the canvas size is 18¼ inches by 32¼ inches. So 18¼ in width by 32½ inches in height. That is the size of the mini diamond painting one that I'm doing. The larger one is more like 50 or 60 by, or is it 45? 45 by 230 centimetres. It's basically 2.5 meters long. I'll try and have the information actually written down and worked out and ready for when I next do them. I'll try and remember to do myself a little sheet that shows you the image, the size it's going to be, you know, and the information about it so that you know what it is that I'm working on. I'll try and do that for each of them. I'll put it on my little list because then I can just grab that sheet each and every time, and whether you're seeing the video for the first time or, you know, whether it's been a while, you can have a mini update on what it is that I'm working on. But this one I'm working on now is a Diamond Art Club. It's Minion Love. It's a really long one as well. I actually have the box here for this one, so I should be able to tell you. So this one is 186 centimetres by 51 centimetres. So again, it's sort of a long and thinner one. It is a round and it does have a B. And I just thought it was a really cute design. It was the design I fell in love with. I must admit, I do find that there are a lot of Diamond Art Club designs that I am really liking. At the moment, there's quite a few that have been grabbing my attention and I've had to behave myself and not order too many. Which, yeah, I'm trying my best not to order too many, but I may have some on their way. Somebody, Anne, she also mentioned, you mentioned adding to your CV. What does CV stand for? So CV is curriculum vitae. It's like a resume, just in the UK we tend to use CV rather than resume all the time. It's can you hand us your CV, and it's basically your work and education history. So the grades that you've established at GCSE, A-level if relevant, any other qualifications, your work history, and a brief sort of rundown of your job roles within that work, along with, you know, hobbies and interests and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, tend to put down any job history on your CV, and that just gets sent off to any potential new jobs that you want. And now I have cat whisperer as well. Jo says, hi, she got her drills for her Heaven and Earth designs from Evermoment. They asked for a list of the colours that were needed and the quantity of the diamonds needed. So not how many packets, just how many diamonds in an Excel file. And they then calculated how many bags you'd need. So that saves one step of working out. It's just a matter of providing them with the list of the numbers and how many. And then they did the math, which is always good. Oh, Colleen's has said, what does waffle mean? It's just like chatter, talk a lot. Basically, waffle tends to be more along the lines of talking about random different things rather than a specific topic of conversation. So I do tend to waffle. So it can be that somebody answers a question but then gives even more information and then goes off topic and says all sorts of other different things that are sort of related but not on the main topic, and sometimes not even on the topic at all. Yeah, that's me. I just talk and talk and talk during these because there's nobody to have a conversation with as such. It is more a matter of course, me reading out your questions and then just discussing anything off the back of that. Oh, number 7 is done. I forget how quick rounds can be. I've not done rounds for so long. I kind of forget that I can get rounds done a little bit quicker. In regards to that, so Rosie did answer. She says it's a Northern British English word for chat or talk. Yes, it is. I might be southern, but I've lived up north for most of my life, so I've picked up a lot of their phrases. And there's quite a few different. It says it's more specific. Lots of different words within the same language, used in different areas of England, and some are more specific to North England. Yeah, I have spent quite a lot of my life in North England and then North West England. Some of it was up north, some of it was northwest, even though I was born in the south. So I tend to pick up all sorts of different phrases depending on which one I like the best. And I kind of like waffle. Mops the Top says in Victoria we say stop your magging. Apparently magging is similar to their waffling. I like it. Stop your magging. Though if I stopped it'd be a very quiet video, so I'll keep going for the purposes of the videos. And what's next? So Talita says, oh, how I wish I could get that mint tray. Oh, or any of your trays. Yeah, the mint tray did sell out, unfortunately, quicker. It actually sold quicker than the purple tray. I think because more people are aware of them and have tried the trays now. But while it has gone, it may come back at some point in the future, but we have far too many colours that have been requested before then. We do have, we actually have 2 additional colours on the printer at the moment. We have taken on board what has been said about postage abroad and stuff. So what we may well be doing, or what we're looking at doing, is while we do have quite a few new items that will be coming in to the shop, if they are something that we can, you know, basically produce within a week on demand. So there are many things that we produce in-house, the likes of the diamond painting logbook, etc. So they take time to produce, but even if we ran out of some of the elements of that, for example, if we ran out of paper, we could get that delivered to us next day or day after from our UK supplier. And it would just be a matter of time, for example, getting the stock level back up. So for those items, that will be something that is more likely to always be in stock, because it can be shipped within a few days if it's not ready on the shelf to go, of which many are. So if it's something like that, we may launch them on their own. Then there are some things that we have that are limited edition. So for example, the colour of trays. We print a roll of filament, however many, you know, that pass quality control of any that pass quality control are put up for sale. When they're gone, they're gone. You know, you could talk up to a year before that colour to come back, because there are so many colours that people want. And then there are some items that we can get back into stock, but we may have to wait a bit longer to get back into stock based on our supplier. So we're thinking that the items that can constantly be in stock, we will just launch as and when, you know, the designs are finalised and they're ready. The likes of any more stickers and stuff that we produce. And the new book today that has gone up on the website is the book of lists. I absolutely love my book of lists. I use it so much. I heavily use the daily lists, which have a section of 5. Because they do say that you shouldn't have more than 3 to 5 things on your list at once to do, otherwise it can be overwhelming. So what I do is I use the big to-do list pages to list things for, you know, a room in my house I want doing, or maybe my cleaning list in the house, or something goes into the big list. But then I will choose up to 5 things from various lists, and it may be some for shop work, some for YouTube work, some for around the house. I will choose 5 things that are the most important, up to 5, and I will move them to my daily to-do list. And occasionally, if I have a day where it's quite a few little things that need doing, once I finish that daily list, I may then make a second daily list of another 5 things, because I've got stuff done, depending on how it's broken down. Yeah, so I use those lists all the time. And then I use the mini lists a lot to schedule, to write down what videos it is I need to film for the week. So on my daily list, it might just be film YouTube videos for the week, but then my mini list will let me know what videos it is that I need to film. So it's sort of a list within a list. And then my brain dump is just when I have too many things on my head that I need to do. And I just need to get everything out. And then I've got a weekly tracker for things that I need to do daily. I'm trying to make sure that daily I am doing YouTube comments, videos, YouTube comments, emails, things like that. But I will do a full video on it soon. But the items like that, the new to-do list, they will constantly be there. So because it's constantly there, people who may want to save on shipping to the likes of the States can then wait and get that item maybe when a tray launches, so that they can ship it all together. But we are trying to group some stuff together that may be something that goes out of stock for a while until stock comes back in, or something that is limited, and once it's out of stock it gets removed off the website for probably a year or more, depending on how the printers go with colours. But yeah, I am sorry if you did miss out on a mint tray. They did go extremely fast, but they do take quite a while to run through a colour. So if one printer is able to dedicate itself to that colour, it takes at least 2 weeks to run through that filament. So if we were to do 2 sets of filament of that colour, of course, it would take a full month just on that one colour. And we do want to bring you as many colours as possible. So yeah, we're looking at bringing out 2 if we can. But there will be lots of other new items if there isn't 2 trays. There will be options for other items to go with your trays that are new, because we have loads and loads of things that we keep putting in the works, and ideas that both we've had and that other people have mentioned. We're trying to cover them all as and when we can. What else did Talisa say? Oh, she says she's had to stop her 45 by 15 Super Mario Brothers diamond painting to help with the coffee beans, and she's worried about her canvas. So it's not a poured glue type, but it's one of those with the white cover. She says she's already started sticking diamonds to it, but hasn't rolled it all out due to space. Do you think I should use the pipe lagging tip or keep it rolled up as it is? So if you haven't yet unrolled it from shipping, then I wouldn't bother. I would leave it as it is from shipping. Leave that rolled that way. When you have completed some, if you then need to be rolling that up again, I would then use pipe lagging on that side just to stop the diamonds weighing down on the next diamonds. That's what I've done on this end of my minions, is it's rolled on pipe lagging to stop it sagging. Otherwise it's one of those, it goes into a circle but then it squooshes because of the weight of the diamonds. The pipe lagging stops that. But if the other side will not be as heavy, so if it's still the same way it was from shipping, then I'd just leave it like that, because double-sided tape does seem to, I've since found that double-sided tape does seem to work better if you work on it as you unroll it, or at least I've found that with some of mine. I did find that 2 of mine that have been hung up, my customs, the one from Home Fun and the one from Ever Moment, both had parts of the canvas where I did have to cut the bubbles out to be able to put the diamonds down. So hopefully that helps. Freycat does say, oh, she has replied saying what a CV is. Latin of the meaning of it is the course of life. So yeah, it sort of details more your education and working life than your full life, but it's a resume. It's the same sort of thing. It's just the more commonly used name for it in the UK. Shelley Seashells, that's a mouthful, Shelley. She says, what was that little tablet that you're working on and what were you doing on it? So on my last WIP and Chat, I was using my little Huawei tablet, and I have on that a Pattern Keeper, which is an amazing cross-stitch app that is only available on Android at the moment. There has been talks of it being available on iOS, on Apple, but that has been going on for over a year. So I don't recommend waiting for that if it's something that you want to be able to use. But it holds the PDF cross-stitch pattern of my Heaven and Earth design that I am doing on a diamond paper. Sorry, it holds the chart that I'm doing on a blank canvas, and what I'm doing is I'm highlighting a particular diamond colour, and it tells me where it needs to go on the pattern. So very similar to it's like having this printed pattern but on a screen next to you. So you do have to, you know, count as to where each one needs to go, and then I'm marking it off so that I can say, yes, I've done that section, it has a diamond on it, and highlighting it that way. I do have a video on the app and how I use the app. That is detailed in both in my Heaven and Earth design playlist, and there's also a quick link to it on my website. So if you go to the website linked below, addmorezest.com, I do have a section called videos, and it's either in the, well, it's in fact it's in both, I think. It's in the app section and in the Heaven and Earth design section, and that will tell you a little bit more about that app that I use. You do get a free 2-week trial, and then you do need there's a one-time charge for the app. I think it's £7.99 in the UK. I'm not sure what the conversion rate is in other countries, but oh, it's amazing. It's an absolute game changer. Shelley says, which chart is this from Heaven and Earth Design, and what size canvas did you buy? So this one is the one that I did last time is Mini Beautiful Light. That's the chart. And the canvas that I bought, I think, was only about 5 to 10 centimetres wider than it needed to be. But when I messaged a seller that had been recommended at the time, that I don't recommend anymore, which is why I'm not giving their name, because they tried to do the whole you need to pay extra postage and all that sort of stuff that I wasn't falling for. Yeah, when I asked them for a price, the price they gave me for the canvas to be exactly the right size was dearer than it would be to buy one that was bigger from their standard stock list. So I chose to buy the one from their standard stock list. Then they tried to charge me, or tried to make me pay more for shipping, etc. And I just called their bluff and said, tough, I'm not paying more. You either send it or I put in a dispute and you cancel the order. And they weren't happy with the dispute, so they ended up sending it. But they won't get recommendation anymore. Crazy Cat Lady says, what does the full image of your black and white look like? You can search the Heaven and Earth Designs for Mini Beautiful Light, or if you hang on a couple of weeks, when I do go to do the next section of that, I will get myself like a little A4 piece of paper that will show you both the image and the sort of size that is being done in. I'll try and do like a little information sheet so that people can have that information at the beginning of my WIP and Chat if they need it, because I'm going to be doing a few. It's my plan to keep going with the Heaven and Earth Designs. Say I might do it in sort of a row of 3, so I'll do the big Heaven and Earth Designs, then I'll do the mini one, and then I might go back to doing the big one, or I might throw in, you know, another diamond painting canvas that I've sort of got on the go. A bit will depend on how many questions I have in the backlog, because it can be easier to answer the questions and diamond paint when it's not Heaven and Earth designs. So sometimes if I feel like I've got a few, I'll do that. So yeah, it's Denise. She says a monthly launch would be amazing, even if it's a different date each month or done every other month. She says she loves supporting the shop and buying my trays. Thank you. All of you are appreciated. Whatever, you know, even just for watching, you're appreciated, but it is appreciated when you buy the goodies, including the trays. She says the translation to cost, she says even if she bought 2 trays, saves her about $4 overall. She told herself that she had to really love the colours to buy any more after the purple one, and apparently the mint one was another favourite colour of hers. So she's picked them both up so far. She said she did bundle with a grey tray the first time. So when she purchased the purple limited, she purchased a grey one. And we did have a lot of people, when we sold the purples, we did have a lot of orders for other colours, you know, that people either they'd got one colour when they first came out and then decided that they did like them, so they wanted a second. And then we had quite a few people that had a white one with it because that colour came out later than the pink and the grey. We did have that more. Yeah, she says she has so many white trays that she chose not to purchase a white one with this one. But yeah, we are looking at grouping some things together. It may not happen on them all, but the things that tend to launch, you know, we will try and tell you whether they are something that is going to be permanent stock. In fact, I think it's only really the trays themselves, the different colours, that will be limited. But there is some other items that we have got. Oh no, there will be more, sorry. There is something coming in October that's extremely limited, but that's still in the works. Yeah, there is a couple of things that we have got in that may take a bit longer restock if they're more popular than what we thought with our initial order. So yeah, we will keep you as updated as possible to the stock levels, so that you know, you can make the decision then whether it is worth waiting until another tray comes out, for example, so that you can order it together or not, and you can make your own mind up. Oh, she did also give us some information on the Heaven and Earth design, because people did wonder why they didn't do full kits. And of course primarily they are a cross-stitch pattern company. You know, diamond painting was never in their business plan originally. But she did say Heaven and Earth design do have their own printer, as in the machine that prints. So they don't get a company to print the canvases, they print them themselves, which is pretty amazing investment in my opinion, because, you know, that printer is going to take up some flipping space, that's for definite. She says so they've sourced the machinery, they've also, you know, established the 2 different types of adhesive, and the clear covers for the poured glue option. The poured glue is one that they had formulated for themselves, so that's another extra step. and of course the tubes and the pull noodles to make sure that they're safe in transit. So they have done all of that setup. The only thing they don't do is the diamonds. And I think they were, she says that she thinks they were originally considering doing the diamonds as well. She's not sure why they didn't, but they are, from what she can gather, she says they are more of a home-based business, and not in a very big facility, which is the space. And I can completely understand that. If you're talking all their cross stitch patterns that they have, and they've invested already in the printer and the stuff to get, you know, the chart onto a canvas, and not only just the fact of the printer, you've got to get the files ready for that, and that can take a lot of work. You know, you can't just say to the PDF, oh, print, and it'll print right. There is work involved in all of that in the background as well. But then to try and find space for 450 colours of diamonds and the quantities that might be needed for some, I completely understand why they haven't. You know, there are many places that sell diamonds on their own. The fact that they, you know, print the canvases now is amazing. It means that Heaven and Earth design patterns are more open to, you know, are open to more people that really don't want to print the PDF or use it on the app like Pattern Keeper and do it on a blank canvas. You know, it opens it up to so many more people that need the symbols on the canvas to be able to do it, and doing it on a blank one is just too complicated, which I completely get. It's not for everybody, and it takes a lot more thought when you're doing it. The fact that they've offered that option, but taken the step back on the diamonds, I kind of don't blame them, because ultimately they're a cross stitch pattern company, and that is the main thing that they do. To then branch out, but to branch out to the extreme of doing full kits, I can imagine that would be a lot more than they bargained for. I think they've done good on the middle ground, I really do. Okay, so Adila, sorry if I've pronounced your name wrong. She says, do you know that you can get rid of the DMC codes on your tablet? You just click on the arrow at the top and you get a bigger selection. Yes, I do know that. The reason I don't on my Heaven and Earth designs is so that I don't have to move within the options at the top. You know, the sort of highlight and the search section and all that sort of stuff, because I end up mucking stuff up doing it that way. I prefer having the key all the way down the side, because then I can just tap on the number that I want to do next and it will tell me where all the symbols are. I used to have it hidden all the time. If you see some of my earlier WIP and Chats where I first started using the app, it was hidden, but I found it became a lot easier to find the diamonds I want and to do it with that key there. Yeah, loads easier. Samantha says, oh, she sadly missed out on the mint green as she didn't see the email in time. I am sorry, all the emails went out, but there were more emails that went out than were trays. The demand was very high, and I think because the mint green is close to teal, I think that's the reason it went so well as well. She says, are you going to restock mint green again or anything close to teal anytime soon? Yes and no is the answer to that one. The mint green, we're not planning on, you know, it's not one in our immediate list, because there are people that have asked for other colours, so we are trying to go through as many colours as we can before we start touching on, you know, similar or the same as what we've had before. We do have one preferred manufacturer of the filament, so we're sort of trying to go through all the colours we can get from them before we start experimenting with other companies. However, we do have a colour that is different but is similar to like a turquoisey teal. It is different to the mint, so it's not the same, and that is coming for a big launch of items that we have in October. So we have things in place. We don't know when in October yet, October-ish time. We do have something big coming, so it will probably, all going well, it will probably be around that time, but again, stock will be limited. We don't have the time to print more than the standard one roll of filament. But yeah, we do take note of colours and how quick they sell out and how popular they are, to make them more of a priority colour when, you know, when we do start getting to the point where we're doing similar or the same colours again. We do make note of that. But yeah, everything so far keeps selling out, so it makes it really, really hard as to which ones to do. But yeah, we've got loads of exciting different colours coming, and we're hoping to get at least one, maybe two out per month, depending on demand, for the normal trays, because of course the printers have to print the normal trays as well. Yeah, so keep your eyes peeled. We'll let you all know, like, you know, as soon as we can / anything's finalised, and we try and keep you guys updated when things are coming, so that you can get prepared for it. Oh, ABs are next. Let's get my multi-placer. Where did it go? I know I got it out. Did I move it? Oh, I moved it. I'm using the Pretty Placer, which is what I normally use for these ABs, because it's AB time is the next colour. And I quite like using this multi-placer. I quite like using the pen that I have as well, especially if they need scrooshing down into place, if they need nudging anywhere. Some of these are going to need a nudge, but it's not as easy to do with a Pretty Placer. Terry says she loves the setup that I had on the last WIP and Chat, being able to see the canvas and the tablets. Yeah, I think that's the one that's turned out to be the favourite, is trying to zoom in as much as I can when doing the Heaven and Earth designs, while keeping both the tablet and the canvas in the screen. So I'm going to do my best to get as much, you know, as close as I can while doing that when doing my Heaven and Earth designs. I'll give you sort of, you know, a couple of minutes zoom out like I did on this one, just so that you can see my setup and sort of where things are, so you know when I've finished a colour and I disappear, where I've disappeared to, you know, which side of the screen I've disappeared to tip the diamonds back into the pots. But then you can actually see what I'm doing. Brianne says, I'm in the States and it seems that around her area, pie is a treat that the older generation are fond of, but you don't see anywhere near as many under 50s going for a pie over another type of dessert. Okay. She says personally she prefers brownies or cake, but she'll also choose a cookie over a slice of pie. It's one of those, I do like pie. I don't think pie it's not a big dessert over here. It's not something that is offered loads. It's not something that I'd say is often on the menu. I mean, they do banoffee pie, but it's not really the same sort of pie as the likes of an apple pie. And there are a few places that do it, but frankly, if they don't do it with custard, in my opinion, it's not quite right. And you can have a hot apple pie with ice cream, but I'm definitely more of a custard fan than an ice cream fan. So it doesn't make it appeal to me. I often go for something else. Though the kids will quite often take chocolate cake over anything else. And I'm not as big a fan of chocolate cake. I actually prefer sponge cake. Lads and lads. Lisa's Colouring Corner says, will you be able to make a multi-compartment drill tray? Like maybe 3 or 4 sections. That isn't something on our list at the moment. We are quite limited in how many trays and designs and all that sort of stuff we can print. I mean, we have now got 3 printers on the go. It started off as 1. Because of the popularity, it's ended up being 3. But at the moment, that's not something that's in the pipeline. It's not a never. It's just not a priority. The priority is 1, keeping stock of, keeping stock levels up of the standard trays, which is the likes of this one, white, grey and pink. We're making sure that an order comes in for those, it can go straight out. And the limited edition trays are the sort of next priority in relation to that. And we do have a couple of other ideas of things that we'd potentially like to do with, encompassing the 3D printers, but they've just had to be put on hold because frankly we're too busy with trays. We're too busy with order trays. Lisa says just a thought, she has seen creators filming the diamond painting section and doing a voiceover. Yeah, that is something that I could do. A voiceover is something that I used to do with my scrapbooking videos and my scrapbooking layouts. The only thing is it's then twice as long. So not only am I doing the diamond painting and taking that time, even with speeding it up and then talking over it, it just doesn't have the same flow. I think I'm just gonna have to, spend the hour waffling. Okay, I've got that last one up the top. And then the last question that I've got outstanding up till, of course, this video goes up and you guys ask more is how wide and how long is the picture? And that was on the big Heaven and Earth design. So as I mentioned before, that one's about 45 centimetres by 2.5 metres. But I will look to do sort of a mini information sheet on that, even if it's just the basics to show you what the picture is, ready for next week's. But Minions is getting there. See, look, I've done a few of the pretty flowers. I've not got to the actual Minions yet though. They're up here. I'm not sure if you can see him. There he is. So I've got a bit more to do. These pieces of cover paper do move up to here when I'm done. Because it's been rolled up in its box, that's the only reason I've taken them off. They're currently in with the diamonds to keep them safe. But anyway, that is another one done. So do ask your questions, ready for the next WIP and Chat. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I'll speak to you all again soon.